Soulful shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this beat myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. This some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse of only a few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Yo, big up people, man. What's going on, man? We are back in the building. Welcome back to the channel GTV. Of course, we're here for the Newcastle game away at St. James's Park. Going to be a real tough game in the evening. Newcastle have done really well, really well against a couple of the top teams this season at St. James's Park. So we know it's going to be a tough fixture, for Liverpool. Before we, of course, get into it, guys, please make sure you do smash the like, share, and subscribe to the channel. So obviously, listen to Arne Slot's press conference. Nothing that I guess we didn't already know. Obviously Alisson, he spoke a little bit about Alisson and the whole Keller situation. Alisson at this current moment in time, he's still not 100% fit, and with how well Keller has been doing, I don't want to get you guys angry and stuff like that. I think he's just been calm. I don't think he's done exceptionally well. I don't think he's done poor or amazing. I just think he's been super duper calm. Hasn't really been called into question that much. But he's been calm enough for me to be like, yeah, no worries. Like, I mean, if Alisson's not 100% fit, as Slot says, then you don't need to rush him back. We're not in that kind of situation where maybe when we had like an Adrian, as an example, and you're like, oh shit, you know what? If Adrian, is still in goal, we need to 60%, 70, heck, 40% fit Alisson. I beg you, come back, kind of vibe. So listen, man, big up to Keller. He's done his thing, been absolutely calm. In goal, had some really good games, had some calm games, average games. Like he's been able to have the mix. And I always say that is the best thing for some of these players, is that they don't need to. I think what happens is that we start to look at players sometimes and we're like, they have to be amazing every single game. So sometimes I see like with people when they do their player ratings and stuff, it's like you almost judge it that way. And it's like, no, you don't have to be. But sometimes you can just be average, and that is calm, because you're going to have those kind of performances. I say this a lot about other players, in the team. And I think it's the same with Keller. Like, I think he's been super duper calm, this season, since Alisson obviously picked up his injury. So listen, if Alisson is not fit, I do not want to rush him back. He's the best keeper in the world. And it does seem like as soon as he's fit, he comes back in. And I'm extremely happy, about that, because I want to see my best players, always play. And Alisson is that, ultimately. So yeah, put him back into the team, put him back into the squad, and then take it from there. Take it from there. But listen, Slot's the manager. He knows how to kind of, how to judge it and stuff like that. If he wants Alisson back in goal, then he'll put him back in. If he doesn't want him back in goal, then Keller stays in goal. But I think you'd be a fool to think that, why wouldn't you put the best goalkeeper, from what Liverpool fans tell me, the best goalkeeper in the world? Why wouldn't he go in goal? This whole conversation about, the Alisson and Keller thing, I do find it a little bit weird, because on one hand you say he's the best, but then on the other hand, you kind of say, nah, it's all right, Keller can stay in goal. Like, I don't know, I find this whole thing a little bit weird kind of thing, because then Alisson cannot be the best goalkeeper in the world if you're more than happy for him to sit on the bench. Obviously, if he's unfit, then that's different. But I'm just talking about if he is fit. People are like, nah, keep Keller in goal. I'm like, nah, you wouldn't do that. Just if Salah was injured for 5 games, for example, however long Alisson's been injured for, and Ben Doak came in and scored in every single game, is everyone going to be like, nah, man, Salah has to hold bench? What do you mean he has to hold bench? Bro, thank you for keeping my spot warm. Thank you for doing well. Now we know you can do well. Now we are even more confident in your abilities, so that we can, obviously goalkeeper is different because you can't just rotate in a game. Not like you can sub the goalkeeper off at 60 minutes, but we are more confident in starting you in certain games potentially, and if that's the case, then, maybe it's a different conversation later on down the line. But yeah, for me, Alisson straight back in goal when he's fit. But for now, more than happy with, Keller, staying in goal. Another thing that he spoke about in the press conference, you know, they were talking about like Mo Salah. They spoke about Cody Gakpo, but I don't really care about that one. It was more about Mo Salah that, you know, he spoke about. I can't remember the guy's name. Always ask him these kind of, not this specific question, but he asks him very. He seems to be the only one I actually, whenever he asks him questions, Slot seems to have a lot of time for him in terms of, I think maybe even respects him because some of the questions he asks is a bit like, oh, okay, fair. You know what I mean? Like, got me thinking there. But listen, they spoke about Mohamed Salah, you know, in terms of, you know, the assists. I think that was one of the key things that he spoke about. How we are, you know, very heavily reliant, you know, on Mo Salah and his assist. And obviously here's just, you know, I guess just his influence on the team. And I think it's a weird one, isn't it? It's a weird one because the reality is every team, I'm trying to think, and I don't know off the top of my head. Again, if you know in the comments, please let me know. But most teams, unless the team isn't really that good, then you've just got players like a Southampton. You might just have like players like dotted around in terms of goals and assists, and it's probably shared a bit more equal. Most of the top teams, you will have that one player though. You usually do. You know, City with Haaland, even when Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri's there, Haaland is the main goal scorer. He is more or less the only goal scorer. I think even on the game at the weekend, he was the only player in the team who'd actually scored a Premier League goal, which is mad in terms of the starting lineup. But yeah, you're going to have that. You're going to have this heavily reliance on someone to get the goals, and usually it's different. Usually you have someone who always gets the goals and someone who always gets the assists, right? Maybe in Arsenal and Liverpool might be different. I don't know what Saka's things, but I'm sure Saka might be the top assist maker. I don't know. Again, I'm just kind of just guessing at this moment in time, but mostly it's kind of, you know, it will be two different players, right? So on one hand, I kind of get it, and I think Slot understood the question because he did say, listen, look, there is a little bit of a heavy reliance on Mo Salah kind of thing, and we don't have a replacement for him. Obviously Harvey can play there, and I know everyone's like, yeah, Diaz, there's guys who can play there. There's no one who is a right winger though. That is the problem I think Liverpool has. And obviously with Chiesa being injured and, you know, not being fit or whatever story it is that comes out with Chiesa, at this moment in time, Liverpool have no right winger at all in the entire squad. We've just got a bunch of guys who can potentially play there, one-off games, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and all that kind of stuff. So that's maybe an area of concern kind of thing, because of course, and I think again, Slot knows here, if Salah gets injured, it's going to be techie for Liverpool, like real techie in a lot of aspects, because again, we rely on him for assists. It's not just the goals we're relying on him for, it's the assists as well. So if we're relying on him for that, yeesh, yeah, I mean, that's when it starts to get a little bit like, I'm not saying that Liverpool don't score any goals. I'm not saying Liverpool won't get any assists, but you know, come on, man, it's going to be quite difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult, for Liverpool, moving forward, in terms of maybe getting the volume, and then that's where you really are going to have to start looking at your, defenders and stuff like that. So yeah, listen, look, that's maybe a problem for later, if and touch wood, Mo doesn't get injured, but it's just something to kind of think about, and it was something that he kind of mentioned, and it did make me think, and it just goes back to everything I've always said. You know what I mean? I don't trust these other guys. I only trust Salah. He's the only one I trust in terms of the attack, which is obviously why everybody wants him to sign a new deal and stuff like that. On form right now, he's just performing at a really, really high level, to be honest with you. And I think more than anything, he just seems so relaxed. He just seems so calm, so chilled. Yeah, obviously the talk that he's doing after games sometimes doesn't necessarily read that, but in a general sense, I'm talking more on the pitch, just seems calm, man. Like, he just seems like, I'm just Mo Salah, so I'm just gonna go do my thing. Might have a poor game and I'll score. Might have a poor game and I'll score an assist. I think he's now level with Wayne Rooney for goals and assists in different games. I think, I can't remember, it's like 30 odd games, and I think it was Rooney and obviously Rooney being one of the best players ever to play in the Premier League, Mo Salah's now matched that. So another game on, against Newcastle, I can see him doing that. You know what I mean? It's like, it wouldn't surprise me. More time this season when I'm doing like my predictions for like the matches and stuff like that. More time, you'll probably hear me say either here or on Enzo's channel, like when they ask, like, who's gonna score the goals? I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I don't actually know, but you know what, Mo Salah. Let's say if I pick Liverpool to score 2 goals, Mo Salah's going to be involved in both of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just all I know. He'll be involved in some way, shape, or form. Either he's scoring both or he's scoring and assisting in the game. And listen, man, if he can just keep this up, the world's his oyster. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like the world's his oyster, and he's putting himself in a really good position in order to get this contract that he obviously wants, to be able to stay at Liverpool and however much it is and whatever the length is. So yeah, man, listen, we'll wait and see, of course, on Mo Salah. We'd have to just, kind of, yeah, just wait and see on that one. But right now, listen, I'm really not fussed about the whole contract situation. Like I said, the way he's playing doesn't give me the cause of concern of like, bro, I beg you get this done. Like, please get it. I'm like, he's just playing so chilled right now. He doesn't seem like even though he's talking a lot, which either way you want to see it, he is talking quite a bit. And sometimes I'm like, maybe you just shut up and just play football. But whatever you're doing, it's working. So if the talking is helping to do whatever, because you feel like you need to prove yourself and just to prove to the management, and maybe they set you like a little private target, before the season. I don't know, behind closed doors, you know what I mean? Like 1-2 conversation, and it might be, oh, you know what, actually, how about you get me 20 goals and 20 assists this season? It will definitely give, something dumb. Again, I'm just exaggerating in terms of the numbers and stuff like that. But you never really know. You never really know. Now, on to Newcastle. As I mentioned before, they have been really, really good at home in terms of against the top teams this season. Obviously played against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, beat them 2-0, beat Arsenal 1-0 at St. James's Park as well, and drew 1-1 with Manchester City. And this is all this season. So yeah, man, they like I said, it's going to be a tough game for Liverpool. I don't envisage it being easy. Whatever the score is, I just don't envisage it being an easy game unless Newcastle go down to 10 men or, they just really do stink up the place. But Wednesday night, the atmosphere, St. James's Park, it's not an easy place, Even when they were dead, Mike Ashley days, and what I mean, yeah, listen, it's never easy with that kind of team and that kind of club and the fan base and stuff like that. They're going to make life completely hellish for Liverpool. So it's that this is where Arne Slot, this is where his calmness, his meticulous kind of way of doing things, this is where it's going to really come in handy, I feel, in a game like this, because of the atmosphere. And then of course, obviously, we've got that game against Everton that we'll speak about another time. But yeah, these two games where the opposition, they're going to try and make life hell for you in various different kind of ways, whether it be on the pitch, off the pitch. This is where we need that sense of calm, and we need the experience of our top players in order for us, to be able to, get the victories, which I want, from both of these games. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about Isak, whether he's going to be fit or not. To my knowledge, he's fit for the game. That's my knowledge. Again, might change by the time this video is posted out. Who knows? But to my knowledge, Isak will be fit for this game. So yeah, listen, top striker. He's another one. You know what? He's in that, like, him and Gyökeres are like, they're such interesting strikers for different reasons. Gyökeres just more because you almost think to yourself, can he really do it at the top level? You don't really know. Isak, we know he can do it at the top level. I don't actually think that that's actually a problem. I just think that it's more your injuries. You are like a Jota, to be honest with you. Like Jota, you look at a strike, you look at a play, and you're like, brother, you're actually cold. Like you're calm. Like, I would love to have you on my team, but you get injured all the time. Isak's the same thing. Love to have you on my team, but you get injured all the time. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, interesting. Like, if you signed him, you're not going to be worried that he's not going to score goals. He's always going to score if he can stay fit. You keep him fit, let's say, for 20 games in a row. I think he gets you 13 to 16 goals in that kind of time, if he was to stay fit in a better team, by the way, not in a Newcastle team. But even in a Newcastle team, he's proven that he can score goals, right? Likes to pull out to that left-hand side. We see Darwin Núñez kind of do it, but we know this guy's a way colder finisher. So, he doesn't seem like a striker that needs too many chances to score. I'm not saying he don't miss. I'm not saying, like, because every striker misses. I know everyone's going to be like, oh, but Jack has big chances. I don't even know, and I don't even care. When we watch the games, you can see it's that the way that he finishes, the composure, the different types of finishes, things that stats can't tell you. You can tell that this is a very, very good striker, man. So listen, I've heard he's going to be fit for the game. If he is, that's obviously a problem for Liverpool, because you don't want to give this guy too many opportunities, in front of goal. You don't want to let him anywhere near your goal, because if you do, yeah, it can be problematic. Obviously, him, Gordon as well, as another player who might be a bit problematic for Liverpool. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be a tough game, man. It's going to be a really, really tough game for Liverpool. This is my lineup. This is my lineup for the game. Obviously, it's difficult because I was like, obviously, we know he spoke about Trent. And he said he doesn't think, I don't think Trent's going to last the full game. So we know that Trent's coming off. at some point in time. So, but I feel like he will start the game. Obviously, still no Tsimikas. Obviously, Kanate injured. Kwanzaa obviously can play, but I'd rather just stick with that kind of back four. The original back four, the OGs. Joe Gomez alongside Virgil van Dijk. I think Joe Gomez did pretty well against Manchester City, so I'm happy with that back four for me. Midfield, that's where I was a bit like, I don't really know. I've dropped McAllister, not dropped, but rotated him because I do feel like we're going to need you for the game against Everton, and I kind of need you a bit more fresh because I just feel like that type of game atmosphere, all of that kind of stuff, I just need you a bit more fresh. So obviously Jones can come back in. Szoboszlai as well. I feel like Szoboszlai should start this game up against Newcastle. I feel like that midfield three should be good enough in order for Liverpool to get the victory. I'll be honest, I feel like it's got a mix and blend of everything that you kind of need and want. I mean, McAllister in there as well would also do the same thing. But yeah, I just feel like that's maybe the one to kind of go with. I couldn't really think of anybody else. I mean, I know Harvey Elliott, maybe Harvey Elliott coming on off the bench. Maybe you could do something like, again, I don't know how fit or not fit he actually is. So yeah, maybe that would be the only kind of thinking, but I wouldn't start Elliott. I mean, it'd be surprising if he does. I'll be mad surprised. But yeah, I feel like Elliott's someone you'd have to ease into things. Forward line, obviously right wing, we already know. It was the left and striker. I had to kind of think. Obviously, Darwin Núñez didn't start the game against Manchester City, so I feel like he will start this game. And then I had to pick between Diaz and Gakpo. I'll go with Gakpo for now. I feel like Diaz tired a little bit in that game against Manchester City. Give him a little rest, that's all. So all it is, rotate. That's all I'm looking at, is that if you can rotate in like a couple of positions, then I'm kind of good with, not like a full rotation. I'll play Endo and play Morton and then try and find some youth Jaden Dans to play up top. Now, I feel like this is enough. And again, like I say, you can bring someone like a Luis Diaz, off the bench, McAllister off the bench. If Trent's gonna seemingly come off, then obviously Kwanzaa will come in, potentially even at right back like he did at the weekend. So yeah, I feel like it's more than enough there in order for Liverpool, to kind of get the victory in the day and in the game, should I say? Sorry, and also, like I say, you've got the players potentially on the bench in order for you to change it if you need to change it potentially, like half time, or anything like that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. In terms of result score prediction, I'm actually going to go with either 2-2 or 2-1. I'm undecided. I do think we probably may draw the game, so I am leaning more to a 2-2. So yeah, I'll stick with 2-2. I'll say 2-2. I think it's going to be a tough game, man. I do think with the way that Newcastle have played against some of these top teams at home, yeah, I just think it might be a tough game. Again, it all depends lineups and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll go with 2-2 for now. I don't know. Mo Salah will have a hand in both of them. That's all I know. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section, people. Let me know your predictions. Let me know your lineup. Who would you change? Who would you bring in, etc., etc. Like I said, obviously, I'm doing this video a day before, so the lineups and things might be, in terms of players, might be a lot different by the time you guys see this video. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I will catch you for the match reaction. Peace.